Hey guys, thank you for checking out Tinymenaceapparel, building a brand. In this episode, I'm going to talk about easy Subli HTV transfers. So before we get into the easy Subli HTV transfers, I'm going to talk to you about sublimation printers. And the last episode, I told you that I purchased a sublimation printer so I can use it to make the samples, take pictures, to get a gauge, to see if customers are going to want more of that product, that design. And I'm going to give you a brief breakdown what's going on with the sublimation printer, and teach you some of my mistakes, like I always do, like I always say, and then I'll get into the easy Subli transfers. So to start off, I purchased Epson Eco Tank printer. So there are different models. So mine is the 2720. It's one of the most affordable ones. It goes for 300, 250 or 300. I purchased mine on sale for $200 in Target. It turns out that it was a return product, so it had not been used, but someone purchased it, stole the printer cable, and then returned it, or maybe they just bought it and then they forgot to put the printer cable back. But the printer didn't look like they took it out of the box. It still had all its stickers and paperwork, and then it's foam over it, so they definitely didn't open the printer. So they maybe cracked open the box, grabbed the wire, put it back. But so I went online on Amazon, bought Sublimation ink, and I turned on the printer. It never, when you want to convert a regular printer to a sublimation printer, it has to be brand new. You can never have put in regular ink into it. You always start it off with sublimation ink and then continue with that process using sublimation ink from there on forth. So I purchased sublimation ink. I showed you guys the brand in the last video. I'll show it to you now. So this is Wakak, like an Asian brand. It was on Amazon. So I have this one, and it comes with 4 bottles. And the 4 bottles, sorry, I just moved one and the other ones fell. So the 4 bottles, they you'll put them in the sublimation printer, and the printer you convert it to sublimation printer, and that's it. And then you just follow the installation processes and you're good to go. So you put the disc in the computer, you can download the firmware if you don't want to use the disc. If you don't have a disc drive, you have a laptop without a disc drive, you can do that, and then plug it up and you're good to go. So then you can go 2 ways with this. So you can use sublimation sheets. So you can get sheets like this, which is just like regular white paper, but there's sublimation sheets. So with sublimation sheets, you print on these, and then they're a lot heavier than regular sheets. You print on these, and then you take some parchment paper. Well, when you print it, make sure that you mirror the image, because you're gonna press it on the shirt, and you want it to be facing the opposite direction so it come out the right way. But you take this sheet and you put parchment paper over it. So the way that I pressed it up was I did 400 degrees for 70 seconds. It depends. The back of the sheet had instructions for 400 degrees for 40 seconds. But I spoke with someone else that does this a lot, and he said he does it for 60 or 70 seconds. I'm actually going to try one in the next video. I'm going to show you guys me pressing up the different kinds of this stuff. So I'm going to show you the regular transfer paper, the transfer sheets, and then I'm going to show you how I did it with the Easy Subli. So I don't know if I keep showing you this, but the Easy Subli is basically, so with this, with regular sheet, you have to press it on shirts that are 100% polyester. So sublimation shirts, sublimation designs have to be pressed on sublimation shirts. So the reason why the box is around this, because this is the guide for the Cricut design. So the Cricut can cut this image out, and then you can just press this image onto it. Now with a sublimation shirt, if you get a white shirt, you can just trim around the image with scissors and press it on, and then the white will blend in with the shirt. So with Easy Subli, you can press these on 100% cotton shirts, 50/50, so you can press it on anything. So these have a mask that you use over it, and then it'll press it onto the shirt. But first you have to print it. So you would print the design with an Easy Subli sheet, which I believe I have one here. Easy Sub. So no, see, I use the sheet to print a sample sheet, but it says sub on it. Or in the light you can see the sub light on it. But you would press the sheet. You would print the sheet on the coarse side. As a glossy side and a coarse side, you would print it on the coarse side. That the image would come on the coarse side. Then you'd put it, if you're gonna do it, cut it with a Cricut or Silhouette. You print to cut. You print to cut, and then you'd put it on the Cricut, and the Cricut would read these lines and then cut around the image. After that, then you'd mask it, which is take a clear sheet, put it on top, peel it off. Then the mask is gonna remove the image. Take that mask and you put on the shirt. Now, if the image is just one image, it's just a single image like this, and if it doesn't have multiple parts meaning it's not an image and then another image and another, you know, if it's just one image, one whole image, you can take that image off, peel it off, and you can put it on the shirt and then press it directly. And you don't have to mirror the image because you're gonna take the image and put it right on top. So there's no mirroring, you don't have to flip it. So, like I always say, learn from my mistakes. So, if you have a Cricut, I have the Cricut Explorer Air 2. And what I did was, before I started, what I wanted to do was, I wanted to get the device calibrated. So you would print this through the Cricut hub, and then you put it on the sheet, and you run it through the machine, and the machine reads the lines, and then it cut accordingly so it can calibrate itself. Now, if your Cricut is having issues reading these lines, there's different things you can try to do. So that I saw, one is that you brush it with a painting brush, but never a clean, dry painting brush. You would brush that over the sensor because it's not picking up the lines. Or you can take a marker and write over these black lines. You take a ruler and write directly over the black line, and then the computer read it better. Sometimes the printed black is not strong enough to be picked up by the device. Now with the Cricut, this seems to be a big case. It happens to many people. So what you do is you can write over it. And that's what I'm gonna do in the next video. I'm gonna write over the black line, and then I'm gonna run it through the machine. It's gonna cut the image out. So in the next episode, I'm gonna show you how to print on a regular transfer sheet, and then we're gonna print and cut on a easy subli sheet, and I'm gonna make some shirts. So this is a squeegee. You're gonna need this. So you put on the green mat, you put the image on it. You have to use the squeegee to flatten it out. And this came with the Cricut, but with the Cricut bundle. But thanks for watching. In the next episode, I'll put everything on. I'm gonna put I don't know if you can see it, but we have the Cricut Explorer Air 2. It's a little bit of a mess over here. Another thing is, you might need a printer splitter. So depending on how many sockets your computer has, I know laptops majority of the time only have 2 sockets. PCs, majority of them only have 4. Then you're using one for the mouse, one for the keyboard, and then you only have 2 left. Sometimes you have 2 in the back and then 2 in the front. So in my case, I'm using the 2 in the front, and I already have a laser printer, a regular laser printer. Then I have the thermal printer, and then I have the Epson Sublimation printer that I just bought, the one that I just converted, the Eco Tank. Now, when you're using the Cricut, then you need to use a printer wire, a USB, well, it's the same as the printer jack, printer wire for that to connect to the computer too. So, I don't know, you don't have to, you can swap them out, or you can buy a hub or a splitter that you can plug all 3 devices onto one hub and then plug that one slot. And then as you alternate, the computer just pick it up. Or some of them have switches where you can switch it depending on the wire you have. You label them and then you switch it in between so you know which one you're using, because you're gonna have to print a shipping label for the customer. Majority of the time you'd have the shirt already made for them, but let's say you want to get it all done in one day. You print all the shipping labels, and you gotta unplug it, plug in the sublimation printer, print all the transfers that you're gonna make, unplug that, plug in the Cricut, cut all the designs, unplug that, and then you have to start pressing. So it's a little bit of a headache, and it gets even harder if you want to start printing stickers and stuff. using thermal printer. If you want to print some stickers so you can put it over the box or something like that. But in the next episode, please subscribe. And in the next episode, I'm gonna put up I'm gonna show you the conversion of the sublimation printer. So I'm gonna put the sublimation printer on the screen, and we're gonna go step by step on what I did to do it, to get it converted. It's basically what I said, but I'm just gonna show it out, and then I'm gonna go through the transfer printing process, and I'm gonna print some transfers. So when you print a transfer, again, if you want to print a sublead print, there's two different types: the regular sheet, and then you have the easy sublead. That one comes out really wet. So there's two ways you can handle that. You can leave it somewhere flat and let it dry for 24 hours, and then press it and give the color some time to set, because it can get smudged with the Cricut running over it. Or you can put it on top of your heat press. Don't close the heat press all the way, but bring it down and get it really close, and have that dry it and cure it a little for about a minute or two. And what I do is I do 45 seconds, then I rotate the sheet, do another 45 seconds, move it around just to see, you know, I don't know, with to get the edges crispy enough, and then you get it out, and then you let it cool off a little. And then I still haven't tried the marker thing, but I'm gonna try that out, and I'll be recording that so we can get everything shot. Okay, but subscribe to see that. New episodes are gonna go up every week, twice a week. Haven't figured out the days yet, but I'm gonna try to get 3 episodes out. I'm pushing for Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. But for now, it's Wednesday and Saturday. Sorry, Wednesday and Friday. But subscribe, and then we'll have a schedule soon enough. Thank you. Tinymenaceapparel, check us out.